in this. Master Lloyd?
Yeah, I'm looking. Okay, I'm seeing because I don't see anything. I've got
we're on the phone together, so I can hear you on the.
Yeah, can you hear me through here?
I can hear you on the live now as we're speaking.
Okay, I don't know what's going on, but anyway, I'm going to go forward and we'll go from there. All right.
Yes, sir. Because I put the information in.
Yeah, I did not see it. Okay. Anyway.
Go ahead. I'm gonna put it in there anyway, but go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful Wednesday with us on Live with Lloyd. I'm your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. For some reason, things don't seem to be kicking in. I know that today Mercury went retrograde, so I hope that don't have nothing to do with it. But anyway, normally I will see comments and suggestions in at the time. I know everything is supposed to be live. That's what I got it for today. And anyway, I'm going to see what goes on, and we'll get this straight. But anyway, let me start with today is Wednesday, February the 25th. Okay. So please like, share, and subscribe as I'm finally getting the hang of this. But this is Wednesday, the 25th of February. The sun is in Pisces. The moon is in the water sign of Cancer. So this is a watery element today. Mercury began today, okay? And it's going to last until March the 20th. So it's going to be with us for a minute. It is a 3 universal month still, a 7 universal week, which is reflected, but it's a 1 universal day to start anything well worthwhile. Those under the signs of Leo, Aquarius, and Aries are favored, as well as those born on the 1st, the 4th, the 10th, the 13th, 19th, 22nd, 28th, and 31st of the month. All right. Normally I'm able to get comments, and I don't know what's going on yet. But I am going to proceed with what I'm doing so far. Anyway, let me tell you about the sponsors. The sponsor is Nicholas Brooklyn at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn, New York City. They're doing a fundraiser, okay? They have a goal set in mind. Please donate now. And you can go to gofund.me and look up organized by Monique Nicholas for Nicholas Brooklyn. All right, so you got that. And this Sunday, they are having an event. It was postponed this past Sunday because of the snowstorm, so they're going to give it this Sunday, the 1st. It is their second purely holistic soul export to discover balance, wellness, and growth. And it will take place from 12 to 6 p.m. And it is free admission. They've got vegan food, sound baths, movements, holistic vendors, and they're giving out the first 100 people that show. And now, don't forget, the event is free. The first 100 people that show, they will be given gift bags. And you can see that to the right of the brother that's sitting there in a yoga pose, okay? And I mean, they're nice gifts too. Believe me, definitely. So also, show is brought to you by Uchenna. His book is out on Amazon, and it is also available in audio. It's Soul First, Master 24 Hours, and Master Life itself. It's an excellent book. I have mine. Also, Melinda Valentine with Numerologics. And as you see at the bottom of the screen is her phone number, where you can reach out and get your readings and things of that nature. Also, Reflections is one of her books out. And now that we're in the water sign of Pisces, this is her book. I'm trying to figure out why we're not getting why people aren't commenting in. I don't. Something's going on. I have no idea yet, but I will proceed anyway. And if not, I will repeat what I'm doing today, next Wednesday. So, but this is interesting. And Empress Rel, if you can hear me, can you text me? That would help me a lot. If you can send me a text that yes, you can hear me, that means I don't know why people not able to tune in. Okay, there I got somebody coming in. Okay, Red. All right, okay, like the background. Okay, I've got some people coming in. Okay, so something is going on. But anyway, do pick up Belinda Valentine's book. It is in the water period, so it's for reflections. So for those of you who are Cancers and Scorpios and Pisces, of course, and we're in your season, this is good. And so anyway, at least some people are commenting and things of that nature. So I want to get with the rest of the sponsors, please. Okay. So also Recept. Recept is a AI that acts as your receptionist. So for those of you who are setting up a business, it would be to your advantage to kind of like take a look at things and see how maybe it can be of help to you. And also Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly. And she has her website that you should go to, Kimbaley. She, like Uchenna, has also published a book, The Business of Numerology, which is available also on Amazon. All righty. So on a serious note, I don't know why I can't see the okay, I can see the comments. On a serious note, I want to dedicate this show, and I'm going to do it next week because something is happening. I'm seeing a couple of people, but there's normally something that responds, and I'll find out later. Last Thursday, on February the 19th, I've got a what do you call it? Cash app from oh boy, a cash app from Steven. You know, we have regulars every week on the show, people that is family. I call this the Live with Lloyd family, and I really mean that because that's the environment I grew up in. And he sent a notice that Carol, his lovely wife, passed away or transitioned on Thursday, February the 19th. So I do want to dedicate this today's show in her honor, because they've been with me for the longest. They supported me, cash out me, encouraged, told people to get their thumbs up and all that stuff. So I want to acknowledge the sad news to Mr. Stephen Williams in Chicago. My condolences to him and his family and Carol's family as well. And God bless her. I want to talk about something today. Of course, first of all, I want your birthdays. I want to show you because today is about developing a skill, right? What does it take to develop a skill? It's very important. And let me tell you why. Everybody knows there's been things that's been going on in the news that affects this economy. And what happens is there are certain things that we have, as such as, shall we say, monies, stocks, land, also precious metals, call it what you will, or things of that nature. One of the things they don't talk about really that every one of you possess is to develop a skill. Coming up in New York City as a youngster, we used to have what is called a shop. Shop means that a person we go to shop and we learn how to repair maybe air conditioners or refrigerators or something. The girls had home ed, where they learned how to cook and how to be wives and future mothers and things of that nature. They don't have any of those things anymore. But I'm trying to, one of the things you need to know, that the one thing you can develop is a skill. And they talk about a skill, but you're saying, well, what kind of skill? And what I did was I did some research, and I want to share with you what it is, because I have an agenda in mind, not a selfish one, but an agenda that helps people and encourage you to develop a skill, because so many people have been laid off by the boatloads. Okay, people's jobs are in jeopardy. You might think you got a job this week, and next week, all of a sudden, especially if you're working through the government, that is one of the things. So yes, and please put in the birthdays, because I'm going to go through these birthdays. I will not leave anybody out. This is going to be fun for me, but it's not showing up the way it's supposed to be. I don't know why, but anyway, thank you for coming. Now, first of all, what is a skill? A skill is an ability to perform a task well. I'll repeat, a skill is a learned ability to perform a task well. It is something you can do, not just something you know. And this is so, what I'm saying is, so if you don't have if you're out of work, and if you don't develop a skill or have a skill, that's why people are in a panic or whatever the case is. I will give you an example after I finish reading this. Knowledge is information. A skill is applied knowledge in action. So knowledge is to have the information, but a skill is how you apply that knowledge and put it to work for you. For example, they talked about Einstein. When he came to this country, he didn't have no money, no possessions, nothing, but he had a skill. His skill was his mind. Well, guess what? Each and every one of you in this family has a mind, okay? If once you understand that, then it is what you want to do or how can you develop a skill. Now, you can, so for example, now the question is, what makes a skill in the first place? There are a couple of examples that I picked. It says, for something to truly be called a skill, it must have these elements. Now, these are the following elements for a skill. It is learned, not just a natural talent. It's something you must learn. You must, and the ingredients is, or the elements in it is practice, repetition, refinement, and correction. I'll repeat, because I'm going to give myself as an example at the end of this. A skill takes practice. Repetition means doing it over and over and over again. Refinement, tweaking it as you go along, modifying it, as you call it, polishing, rounding off the edges on it. And then corrections. As you grow, you learn how to do better. It's interesting. There was a gentleman I had on about 2 Wednesdays ago. His name is Jills, and he is a patent expert. And he talked about the guy that developed the Super Soaker. He was a refrigerator guy. So, but there was something about the tube to the water that he couldn't get straight. And because of that skill he had with a refrigerator, he turned that into an idea and developed the squirt gun. And now he's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. But he had to have a skill in order to do that. And he just put his creative hat on and turn that problem of how come he couldn't control the squirting of the hose from the refrigerator repair and turn it into a game for kids. So these are the things. It's also, it must produce consistent results. That is to be consistent day in, day out, no matter. It has to be repeated with reliability. So if someone in Casey does something well, that's by accident, that's what you call luck. But when they do it on demand, that's a skill, okay? This is very, very important to understand, because I'm going to encourage all of you to find some kind of skill that you can develop for yourself. So when things get tight and you may not have sort of the finances or the property or the stocks or the 401ks or whatever the case is, you will have developed a skill that can be useful in some way, shape, or form. So also, it improves with feedbacks. So in other words, skill sharpens when mistakes are corrected, techniques are adjusted, and timing is refined, okay? So that is one of the things. And without feedback, performance stagnates. It can also be measured or observed, all right? And so when I said that even soft skills are visible through outcomes, such as communication skills, leadership skills, financial skills, if it produces a noticeable difference, it qualifies as a skill. Now, there are types of skills, okay? There are hard skills, such as coding, accounting, um, operating equipment. That's a hard skill. These are usually taught formally. This is what they used to teach in junior high school here in New York City. Shop. All the boys had to go to shop, whether it was typing, working on cars, refrigerators, air conditioning, things like that. I'm sure in other cities the same was the given case too. For the girls, it was home ed, baking, cooking, other things that girls are taught about raising a family and stuff in the home. So then there's soft skills. Now these are interpersonal and behavioral abilities such as listening, emotional regulations, persuasions, adaptabilities, and things like that, and intuitions applied wisely. Now, there are also what is called cognitive skills. Now, these are mental, critical thinking, pattern recognition, memory recall, analytical reasoning. Now, these determine how effectively knowledge is used. And of course, you got physical skills, as we know, such as an athlete or the balance or to fine tune a motor control. So what is the formula for develop a skill? Skill equals knowledge plus repetition plus correction plus time gives you the success you want. So without the repetition, there's no fluency. Without correction, there's no mastery. And without time, there is no depth. Okay. And one more important thing is that the difference of a skill is that talent is usual, it's a natural aptitude, habit is an automatic behavior, trait is a personality dependency, and interest is what you can enjoy. And I'm gonna give you an example taken from me. Here in New York, I worked at a radio station, Inner City Broadcasting Corporation, with WBLS on the AM FM side, WLIB on the AM side. I worked there for a total of 20 years. I had a show called Numbers in You. Okay, the same as this podcast title, although this particular entity of my Numbers in You show is about a lot with Lloyd. That's the segment I prefer to call it. The point is this: in 1991, right after the World Trade Center in that September, there was cuts across the whole media landscape, especially in radio. And many of the people that I knew worked in WBLS side, the AM side of WLIB, were all scrambling, looking for work. Now, if they've laid off, cut jobs across all of the radio media industry, no matter where you go, it would be met with resistance. Now, some would be lucky enough to get something, but for the bulk of us, it wasn't. One of the saving graces that got me through that low point was my skill. What do I mean? My skill as an astronumerologist. That is a skill. And it qualifies with all the things that it has. It is required by, first of all, the skill was something that I had to learn. I'm self-taught. I love to read. And what happens is this, that it turned into something that I couldn't have imagined. So even in these tough times, and it's not that I don't go through mine like most people do, I'm able to keep my head above water because of a skill I developed. And that's what I am about. That's what I want each and every one of you to do. Now, some of you may think your jobs are solid. I remember it's coming up as a kid. They said if you work for the city, you'll never be out of work. If you work for the government, you'll never be out of work. And we find out now versus for 2025, 2026, where that's at. There is no guarantee. Even with clearances and all that stuff working for the government. You're here today and you might be gone tomorrow. So I'd encourage every one of you to earn a skill. And the reason why I'm saying it is this. I have decided to, and let me give you the backstory too. In 1980, I published my first book, Numbers in You. That was 46 years ago. Okay. So it should give you an idea about like how long I've been doing this. But the point is, if you see when I read people, the response that I get, I've been on every TV, radio show you can imagine, from Oprah Winfrey, Montel Williams, Geraldo, Rolanda Watts, Katie Couric, you name it. I've been on these shows. Regis Philbin, um, countless other shows to recall at the moment. The point is, as a result of a skill I developed, but I didn't have an understanding I was developing a skill. And what I want to do is share with some of you about being conscious about developing your skill. Now, one of the things I'm doing is I'm developing a skill for people to become astronumerology practitioners, not students, but practitioners, a certified astronumerologist. Now, let me tell you this, no matter how bad the time is, I can take my skill anywhere on this planet Earth, in any continent. Now they got AI that translate to English, so I don't have to worry about it getting a translator. I can either put on glasses. They understand they translate, but I don't know how they do that, such as the technology nowadays. Or you can get a kind of translated device that you can talk into it and speak in their language and speak back and understand it. Well, you can develop a skill that you can take with you anywhere. So, yes, I'm looking for. Now, I got to be honest with you. I'm not looking for everybody. You must be sincere in doing this, okay? Because I'm not trying to attract students. I'm only interested in attracting future practitioners who will be skilled to help this world be a better place. Um, Now, that might sound idyllic to some people, but let me tell you, in light of what's going on, um, and by the way, this is for those of you who are interested in what I'm about to exercise in April. And this is a code. If you click on this code, fill out a questionnaire, because the practitioner level certification is designed only for those who are ready to move beyond the personal interest into ethical, professional, and numerology practice. The objective is to understand astronumerology as a system, not just numbers. This is very important. It's really a system to learn how professional astronumerologists think, observe, and assess. I want you to establish ethical and interpretive standards only, and it truly means to master astronumerology, to understand astronumerology as a language of pattern recognition and the difference between calculation and interpretation. So I do this when I have people come in the comment line, which I'm going to do. Because I was in radio so long, for 20 years, I do it in a way that's entertaining, because that's the nature of the media. If it bleeds, it leads. Well, I'm not in that area of it, but I'm in the entertainment part where I make it kind of fun. But I am very, very serious and in earnest about, really, for those of you who want to develop a skill set, I'm offering you this opportunity to become a certified astronumerology practitioner, level 1. It's only on the first level. So, and as you see, I make it fun so I don't scare nobody, whatever the case is. But I'm going to begin to take some people and give you an example. All right. Okay, let me go back. And yes, for those of you, I wish there was a way that Stephen Williams can get in touch with me so I can express face-to-face or by phone, because he's in Chicago. I'm here in New York. My condolences, because he and Carol will always be supporting me. They will always be sending me donations and things like that, and telling people, y'all get those thumbs up. So if Stephen, if you're listening today, this show is dedicated to Mrs. Williams, Carol Williams. All right. God bless her soul. I'm going to do it next week too, because I want to make sure that everybody that's in the part of the Live with Lloyd family hears this. So I do want to acknowledge Red. Red, I thank you very much. Red 244892. I don't know how people come up with these numbers, because mine is numbers in you with some numbers attached. I don't know why that is, but thank you very much for tuning in. Let's see. Also, Vivian Berner, I like the background too. I figured it'd be different than, again, looking at my wall there in the curtains. It said, I know y'all seen that all the time I'm on. So anyway, that's it. Also, um, Carissa Robinson, thank you very, very much. Number 1892. I don't know how they do this, but it's okay. But it shows you that everything is numbers. Let me tell you why I'm saying it. Yes, I want you to become numerologist. I cannot do this forever, but I'm the best at what I do. My legacy proves it. I have 6 books that I published. The oldest book is 46 years old. That's about most of the people in here about in their 40s. Okay, some may be above that, but what I'm saying is how long I've been doing this, and I have survived. I've survived the cycles of highs and lows. Okay, and so just to give you an option, and if you don't want to become or not interested in being a certified astronumerology practitioner level 1, the point is to find a skill. To find a skill that can take you through the high points and the low points in this economy. Because right now, things is very, very tight. And as I was saying back in 2024, 2025, your rent goes up, mortgage goes up, food goes up, gas goes up, everything goes up except your salary. It doesn't take, to me, a rocket scientist to see how you going to keep up. It's impossible. And so, yes, they said, well, 401ks, but suppose you don't have one. Suppose you don't have no stock options. Suppose you don't have that. They says, well, you need to have some land. Suppose you don't have no land. Well, you should invest in gold and silver. Well, suppose you don't have that. What do you do then? And the one thing they keep saying, and I'm hearing lowly, is to have a skill. So if you don't want a skill in what I do, find a skill in what suits your chemistry. But as long as you can develop the skill to keep your head above water, that is the main thing about this. And I'm telling you, it's going to pay off handy when things get tight, because things are going to get a little bit worse before they get better. Okay. So anyway, this is my first reading for the day. And let me tell you how I do it and why this is a skill. And let me tell you why it's a skill that I had to learn and practice. It fits all of the qualifications. Hold up, because I made some notes. I rarely read from notes, but I want to make sure I was doing this properly. Okay. And again, it says, knowledge is information, but a skill applied, right? It takes practice. I practiced for years. Before I went out here and started reading people, and then eventually leading to being on radio and television and going around the world to go to China, invited to China and India, Egypt, places like that to really see things. And also my latest one was last summer in August when I was invited to London to do this. Never in my wildest dream had somebody told me, Lloyd, that one day you'll be able to feed your family, you'll be able to keep head above water, you will travel all over the place. I'd have said, not do this, but I'm telling you, through numerology, I've learned history, I've learned grammar, I've learned better English and better ways of speaking. I've learned so many things that I had no clue has an indirect connection to what I do as a astronumerologist. It takes repetition, practice, refinement, and I practice. That's all I did. I just read every day. So what I'm saying, whatever skill you do, these are some of the things that you cannot get around if you call yourself developing a skill. Now, if you got a skill where you are a mechanic, yeah, they're going to need a car. So you ain't got to worry about that. Refrigerator repairs, air conditioning, certain other skill sets like that, those are hard skills. But I'm talking about what happens if you don't have a hard skill. Let's say you worked at a desk for most of your time. Then what do you do? And what I'm saying is that there are other options, which is using your mental faculties. That is one of the sleepers they don't talk about. Every single one of you who are listening in have a skill that's in your mind. It's just which way you want to go or how you want to use it. But let me tell you this. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be instant in this 21st century world, though. instant gratification, just add water, the push of a button, or the flick of a switch. Developing a skill is an investment. It's an investment of your time, your effort, your energy, your determination. But if you are willing to do that, you will survive. People will need your services. I mean, yes, I'm concerned like most people, but I'm less concerned because I know I have a marketable skill that can help humanity. And if you can think like that and develop your own skill, you don't have to be a certified astronumerology practitioner. If you do, that would be great because I can't do this forever. It would be nice to leave that kind of legacy as I move forward because human beings will always walk this planet unless Musk and everybody's not trying to replace everybody with robots. Over and above that, there are going to always be some human beings. They're going to always need consultations. And kings and queens from centuries have always consulted the stars, from Napoleon to Hitler to Ronald Reagan, the president, to J.P. Morgan, the famous financier who says, does it make millionaires? When asked the question, he says, no, it don't make millionaires, it makes billionaires. And in fact, J.P. Morgan was actually taught by an astrologer astrology. And to this day, and he died on March the 31st of 1913. That's well over 100 years ago. But don't you still hear about J.P. Morgan Bank? Because they hired astrologers on their staff too. So what I'm saying is I have enough proof, background, experience, and expertise to tell you what I'm knowing, that if you have an aptitude to do this, some is natural, some is taught. Most of the skills have to be taught in a way. It has to be a learned skill. And you learn through trial and tribulations, through errors, through ups and downs, through disappointment. And boy, living in New York City, it was a good training ground for me because everybody is tough up in this city. You know what I'm saying? You might as well be in Chicago, the show me state. Well, here, New York has got to be number two because everybody, what does that mean? But it honed me to develop my skills where I wrote books. I've been on every national TV show you can imagine, every radio show, all kinds of things just through this skill alone. So, yes, I am looking for certified astronumerologist practitioners, level 1 only, thank you. And it's to teach about systems, not just about numbers. And I've developed a system, and this system is merging both the skills of astrology and numerology together. And I'm saying it, this is one of the few times I think in the 3 years, I'm really kind of plugging this thing, but it's for you. It's developed for you. Now, for those of you who think you would like to do this, please, I invite you. I'm going to show you the QR code. Just take a shot. It's a questionnaire. Everybody can't be in it. You know what I'm saying? But for those of you who have an aptitude, that will help. All right. So now let me get to Devlin Donis. I got off point, but I'm trying to emphasize the importance of develop a skill. If it's not with me or my field, develop some kind of skill. So when we hit rock bottom, and that's the way things are going to be going with the economy and everything costing a fortune and whatnot, it would be to your interest to have some kind of skill set to back you up if you don't have money, if you don't have property, if you don't have 401ks, if you don't have this, that, and the other. Have a skill. I cannot emphasize the importance of you developing a skill, whether it's with me and what I do or some other skill that you know that can carry you through the rough times. That's going to be important. All right. So in this case, she is this person, I don't know from the image, I can't see it, but it's like, but anyway, I'll put it like this. This person is a Cancer 6 person. That means they are a water sign with an earth number. And that means that there are certain numbers that will follow them. This particular year, they're about change. What happens is this. I took the month, the day they were born, and added it to the year in question. So July 6 added to 2026 adds up to a single digit of a 5. That means, okay, so you see the 1 and the 1 and 9, right? Well, they're at the halfway point. So that means during this 9-year journey, because all the cycles go through 1 through 9, they say, what about 10? Well, 1 plus 0 is back to 1. Well, this person is at the midway point in the 9-year journey they're in. And that represents a change. 5 always represents the 5 senses. It represents opportunities, possibilities, things that allow the person to kind of spread their wings and break from the shell or restriction they've been under from the past year of 2025. This year is going to allow you a chance to really kind of promote your talents, your gifts, your skills, your abilities, and really get out there with some of the things that makes you want to spread your wings and promote yourself. Normally, when people in a 5 year, they get into media, they get into writing, public speaking, and they promote themselves. So this is promotional year, but more likely too, this is a year to travel because it represents short trips. I would say for those in a 5 personal year, like you being a Cancer and a number 6, which are as a nurturing sign and a nurturing number, that one of the things you might want to find this year is some space. That people need to let you breathe, especially if you're in a relationship where the person has been kind of like controlling or want you to account for every movement and everything you do. This is not the year to do that to you. Although you would be naturally, saying, wow, they really must care about me. But in a 5 personal year, you want the freedom and flexibility to come and go as you please. Your key numbers are the 6, 2, and 7, and Mondays and Fridays are your best days. Now, through numerology, it tells me about the health, the disposition, the ages of important changes, the years of important changes, and a whole lot more. But because you see me on formats like this, where I have a limited amount of time, it kind of explains some of that, but those are it. Now, this person here, okay, DJ Sherry Amore is August 26th. Now, they are an earth sign with an earth number. Now, each element in nature rules a characteristic. Air represents one quality, fire, earth, water. So with this person being an earth sign and an earth number 2, it means you are very, very pragmatic, very grounded, like to keep it real. 8, because they're born on the 26th, 2 plus 6 is 8, is governed by the planet of Saturn. And Saturn is often misunderstood or misperceived as being cold or distant or lacking in feelings and affections, when the opposite is true. So I would say, so I always tell the number 8 or number 4, these are the 2 numbers that tend to get the misjudgment, like who do they think they are and all that stuff. That to know them is to love them. But 8 people are, as a rule, normally very warm, loyal, faithful, dependable, and things of that nature. So when I look at the month, the day, and the year they're born, they have a 7, 7. They have a 5 destiny, which means I took the month, the day, and the year they were born in my head, and it adds up to the single digit of a 5. So it means on this journey, symbolically, they're in the 5th grade in the school of life. What makes it great is that 5 governs the sign of Virgo, which is this person's sign. So this person's journey is in lockstep with the person's zodiac sign anyway. So therefore, they would have literary talent, very philosophical. I would expect them to own some land or property or some physical possessions of that kind. If they don't, they would prefer that as a choice. They also will find that this particular year for them, they happen to be in an 8 personal year. Now, how did I do that? Well, that technique is by taking the month and day they're born and adding it to the year 2026, and it adds up to an 8. So since this person is in an 8 personal year and you are number 8, this is your year to shine. Let there be no question. No question. Anytime your personal year is matching your date of birth, it gives you an opportunity to excel, to push the envelope, to aim for the stars, whatever the case is, but to think big. And 8 has always been associated with money and power and authority and executive abilities, achievements and recognition, and all these great things that are associated with it, and accomplishments and achievements and recognition. So, and it also represents maturity and a whole lot more. All these things I would like to share with those who are interested in becoming certified astronumerology practitioners level 1, to teach you how to do these things. And so you'll learn that your key numbers, by the way, DJ Sherry Moore, is always the 8, the 6, and the 5, which means because each number is assigned to a day, Saturday is your best day. Next would be Friday. The next would be Wednesday. So you would say, well, listen, don't the week says Wednesday, Friday, Saturday? Yes, it does. But in your case, according to your birthday, Saturday is always first. Friday is always second. Wednesday's always third. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say they want to go on an interview and they really want to land this interview. Then they should make it on a Wednesday, a Saturday, a Friday, or Wednesday. Let's say they got a job, but they want to take a test to move them up the ladder with other perks and um, health benefits, or whatever the case is. They should take that test on a Saturday, Friday, or Thursday. Let's say they want to fight a ticket in court or whatever they feel has been an injustice. They should aim for Saturday, Friday, Wednesday. Let's say they got to go into the hospital for a procedure, whatever the case is, routine or otherwise. They should arrange it to be entered or have the procedure done on a Saturday, Friday, or Wednesday. And you'll find that timing is everything. And the one other thing is, if people have always heard they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, what I do and what I would like to teach any of you who are serious about being a practitioner on this level 1 is how to be in the right place in the right time and help those in your life, yourself, your family, your loved ones, people you don't know, or whatever the case is, who come to you for counsel and advice. So there you are. And you're born in a water year too. And you conceived in the year of the 6th. So that means your mom could have been either. See, these are all the things I've learned after doing this so many years. And I'm saying, Lord, you can't do this forever. And I don't want to be selfish. And yes, I have an online course, but that's very general for those who are curious, who are students. But I'm talking about for those who want to be serious certified practitioners, where you learn the system and not just the game or the numbers. Well, that's what I'm offering. So anyway, we've got this person here, Cheryl Herbs. Yes, one of our regulars. They are a Libra 8 person. So they are air sign with an earth number. That's why I'm called an astronumerologist, because I blend both the worlds of astrology and numerology together as one, as a system. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Well, it simply means that, first of all, this person, Cheryl, that you were probably out on your own between your 19th and 22nd birthday. It means that as you got older, life gets better, because normally, as a rule, 8s are your late bloomers. They are the last to do this, the last to do that. But the irony is, the 8 people normally wind up being the last to have the last laugh, as I call it. All right. 8 people are very philosophical. They're very intense and misunderstood in their intensity. This is why they're prone to get headaches or some concerns with the knees, teeth, or bones on occasions. But the fact that this person is in an 8, you're in a number 1 personal year. What I did, Cheryl, was I took October the 8th, added it to 2026, and it added up to a 1. So you are starting a brand new 9-year cycle, which means that 2025 was a wrap. Did you close the books on something or someone or some entity or whatever and says, you know what, I don't need this or that, and I don't think I need you guys either. I'm out of here. So now you have a fresh new beginning. This is one of the times, like, since this is a 1 universal year, and the beautiful part about your case, Cheryl, is your personal year is the same as the universal year. So the universal year for 2026 is a 1, which means all of us are going to have to learn how to be more independent, more self-reliant, which is why this theme is about developing a skill set, if nothing else. So just in case. So anybody walking around secure, you should know by now, nothing is secure right now unless you create your own security. And so in your case, since you're in a 1 personal year and a 1 universal year, it's going to allow you to begin starting fresh. Now, here's the thing about this country. We get so caught up in the 8. Well, Lloyd, don't you see what year I'm born in? That don't make no difference. I don't care what your age is, the cycle and the conditions and the opportunities are there for you to start something new. I mean, if you look at Colonel Sanders that started chicken, he was in his 60s, 70s practically. There are a lot of people that invented things or developed products that will pass what is called the period of success or building. They were in their latter years. It's almost as if time had to go by, but they wind up becoming a legacy before they passed on. So what I'm saying for you is, Cheryl, that you have an opportunity to create a new paradigm for yourself, a new entity for yourself, a new beginning for yourself. And all you got to do is step out there. And this is when I tell people in the 1 cycle that this universal year represents. This is the year for everybody to step out on faith. And for those of you who are in codependent relationships, let me tell you what the deal is. when anytime there's a 1 year cycle, like this is one universal across the board for everybody, for those of you who've been codependent on people, circumstances eventually will force you to stand on your own. And this is something you have to understand. Whether you like it or not, something will make you say, okay, you've been depending on this person, you've been depending on that situation. Let's see what you can do on your own. And if you understand that, if that does happen, you're not thrown off your center. You just know you got to step up your game and do what you got to do. But having a skill and developing a skill will offset it by reassuring you. And skills build confidence too. Okay? Skills build reputations. And all the years I've been doing this, over 40 something odd years plus, because I wrote the book 46 years ago. So it gives you an idea how long I've been doing this, like 48, 49, which is a little longer than that. But the point is this. The point is you develop something for yourself that will last you and take you over the line. Now, in this case with Cheryl, everybody has a number assigned to them. Her most important number is an 8. Although when I look at the year, she was born in 2062, which adds up to 18-9. Even her destiny is a 1. So I know at some point she's either held positions of authority or management or being an entrepreneur or own business owner or whatever the case is, but being pushed around and taking orders well has never fit your chemistry. But your key numbers again are the 8, 6, and 3. And your best days are Saturday, Friday, and Thursday. Not Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but Saturday 1st, Friday 2nd, Thursday 3rd. Okay. So now this person, Carissa Robinson, January the 21st, which makes her an Aquarius. Carissa, thank you very much for joining us. I don't know what the time is. A lot of things is missing on this. They normally show me my time. Okay, I see something here. Okay, you are an air sign with a fire number. Now, fire and air goes together in terms of astrological elements. Okay, earth and water goes together in astrology. Air and fire goes together in astrology. So therefore, this is a nice combination of a blend of your air sign, which stimulates fire. So that means normally 3 people are normally very passionate about something. The 21 in the tarot card is called the World card, which means success after a long test of initiation, which means, my dear, that after a certain time, by being persistent, things will happen. And let me tell you with fire people, they have drive, they have ambition, they have passion, they have this resilience that they're not going to give up. And the beauty I love about 3 people in your case, Carissa Robinson, is this. If I gave you a reading on this show, right? And I says, girl, looking at your chart, looks like you're going to be a failure. You think Carissa going to pay me any mind as a number 3? The worst thing to tell a number 3 person born on the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st, like Carissa, or the 30th is, you can't do this and you can't do that, because what's what they're going to do? And they are definitely about to prove you wrong. So I'm willing to bet you if I was able to talk to Carissa, she'll say, Lloyd, that's the truth. And if she looks at some of the things she's accomplished to this date, it's probably because somebody says, girl, you can't do that. Girl, you'll never do that. But she rose to the occasion. That's the thing. Anytime you meet a 3 person, do not challenge them unless you're being prepared to be embarrassed. Not unless they are what is called in astrology afflicted. Afflicted means they don't know that they can do these things. They don't have the belief in themselves, that conviction to, despite all odds and what they say, still rise to the occasion. Those are afflicted. But most 3s you meet, if told they cannot do this or that, normally will prove you wrong before it's over. So I would say it's no exception. Now, what kind of cycle are you in? Well, I took January the 21st, added it to 2026, and it added up to a 5. So you, my dear, are at the midway point in the 9-year cycle, which is why they call it the pivotal cycle, the turning point cycle, the cycle where you get off the dime and you got to say, okay, should I go this way or that way, or move forward or back up a bit, all to determine what is best for you. And I also call it the cycle of opportunities and possibilities. So a lot of things are going to be there for you. It's whether you take advantage of it or not. And since 3s are normally known for their ambition, I would say for the most part, you're going to do what you got to do. Okay. And I would say that actually you open up the year in January because you were in a 6-person month. So probably late December into January, you figured you would probably open up the year with a change of hairstyle. I don't know whether that's true or not, but there's a lot of things going on for you this year. And right now, this month we're wrapping up means you've been in a reflective, soul searching, why am I here? Why am I dealing with you kind of situation and whatnot. But next month, March, is your good month. And it's also your money making month at the same time. You would be my new best friend, Carissa. I tell you, seriously, you would be my new best friend. But developing a skill, I'm able to interpret this information. That's why the comments I get are so flattering. If I say it, it looks like I'm just bragging or like always boasting. But the comments that people tell me, but it's as a result of building a skill. But I did not realize until later on up the road that in these things I was going through, I was developing a skill that took me over the rough spots in this economic seesaw that we go through from time to time. And that's what I'm saying. So for those of you, if you can't become a certified astronumerology practitioner, find something else you can do to take you and act as a buffer to against the storms and the economic storms of ups and downs of life. Your key numbers, by the way, Carissa Robinson, are the 3, the 4, and the 1 in that order. So Thursday's your best day, like tomorrow coming up, okay? Along with Monday and Sunday. Those are your best days. All righty. So thank you very, very much. And by the way, you will always attract younger men in long distance relationships too, which is none of my business, but you will. Okay. Now here's another person born on the 21st, but in a different sign. Okay. They are where Carissa Robinson was a air sign with a fire number. This person is a fire sign with a fire number. So that doubles the intensity of the fire energy to get things done, to get things moving. It's like, I hear what you're saying, but what are you doing? Okay. You can show me better than tell me. That's this person here. All righty. And so they might actually be an affront to people who are just superficial, who just boasting, and she'll call it on them and wind up, oh, I can't handle this. And it's not that she's tough or overbearing or whatever the case is, but if you say you're going to do something, she expects you to follow through. Okay. That is if she's on the positive side. Now, there are yin and yangs, okay, to be honest, because 3s can be lackadaisical. They can be very superficial. They can be lazy, you know, but most three people I meet have a lot of drive. They want to make something of themselves. In relationships, they don't do bums either. So I know whoever you've been dealing with normally got to have something on the ball, some determination, a get up and go, some charisma, some confidence, some something to kind of say, okay, I'll let you in my world. It's that kind of energy. But being a fire sign with a fire number, that simply means that this person has a lot of drive, get up and go, as they used to say. This person is in a 7 personal year. And how I did it again for the technique, because there are techniques that you learn in any skill set, is I took the month and day she's born, March the 21st, added it to the year I want to know about. And see, the beauty of this thing that I've learned as a skill is this. Let's say, well, I remember that something important happened in the year 2019. Well, I know that in that case, she was in a 9 personal year because 2019 adds up to 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. So 3 plus 3 is 9. So I know that in 2019, she brought something to a head. And that was the case. Now, in this year, believe it or not, when I took the month and day she's born, March the 21st, added it to 2026. She happens to be in a 7 personal year. She happens to be, you happen to be, my dear, in the year that governs the law of attraction, the law that kind of lets you say, okay, why am I doing this? And what is this about? And why am I dealing with you? And, you know, why I'm going through all this. And in the 7th cycle, they have the weirdest dreams because it is ruled by Neptune, the dreamy planet. And Neptune rules Pisces, which is called a psychic sign, like Edgar Cayce was a Pisces, okay? So the famous psychic of his day. So what I'm saying is, so you are going to be in your element of looking at things very carefully. Your intuitions are going to be strong. 3 people can sometimes be surfacey. In a 7th cycle year, you're going to want to go down the rabbit hole and look at things in a more deeper, introspective way. It ain't that a person don't love you, but why are you loving me today? That's the nature of a 7th cycle. And since this is the law of attraction, what you think is what you will draw to you. So and so this is one of the reasons why 7 cycles are challenging for most people, because we live in a constant world that deals with the material things like money, jobs, career, or emotional things like love, mates, love, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, stuff like that. Well, 7 makes you get your spiritual house in order. This is why people go back to church. They go get readings. They're looking for something that goes beyond the 5 senses. So what I'm saying is, whatever you want, you desire, you put it on the mental screen of your mind, like they do vision boards, like cut out cards and post them on the board, put out money, post it on the board. You put it on the mental screen of your mind. And so this is what you'll find. Now, by the way, before I end it, your key numbers are the 3, 9, and 6, which means you have artistic and creative gifts and talents, skills and abilities. And your best days are always on a Thursday 1st, a Tuesday 2nd, and a Friday 3rd. So it's not a Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. In your case, it's Thursdays, always top dog. You want to interview, Thursdays first. You can't do Thursday, Tuesday's next. You can't do Tuesday, Friday is 3rd. Okay. You want to do this, you want to sign a contract. Thursday is your preferable day. If not, make it Tuesday. And if not, make it Friday. But as long as it's those 3 days of Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, you're likely to be in what they call in the right place at the right time. Now, this is beautiful, brilliant universe, okay? They are a Virgo 1 person, all right? So that means they are an earth sign with a fire number. Earth by element means one who is they keep it real. They like to keep both feet on the ground, okay? And in fact, the saying for Virgo sign is I analyze. And so with it being a number 1, which is a fire number, they analyze everything. So this person would make an excellent lawyer, doctor, scientist, operator, entrepreneur, manager, supervisor, director. And what's interesting, your birthday tells me you were old when you were young, and you got young as you got older. So that means to me, coming up as a young girl up into your 20s, 30s, you attracted much older men. And now I'm not surprised if you're not attracting younger men, which is also none of my business. But because I developed the skill, and through repetition and time and trials and errors and whatnot, and refinements and writing books and doing my research, I can speak with that kind of confidence that, if anybody says I'm wrong, please put it in the comment. I'll put it up on the screen too. There's no shame in my game. I am not perfect. I don't walk on water yet, but I'm really good at what I do. And I'm saying I'm making you an offer for those of you who are sincere, not to just be students out of curiosity, but to develop a skill that establishes a system for you and a way to keep your head above water and beyond. It's something that no matter where you go on this planet. So a lot of times people are moving from one city to another, right? Can they take that job skill with them? If you're working for a national chain, yes, you can probably. But let's say you're not. You're working at a small business company or something of that nature, and you want to move. Can you take that skill with you there? And so by developing a skill, any kind of skill that's worthwhile, you can take it. So in this case with you, my dear, happen to be in you happen to be in the 11 or 2 personal year. So that's what you're in. So this is your year to kind of begin to mend fences, now I don't know whether this is actually, let me see if I do 9, 19, because you might be in a master number 11 year. 9, 18, 24. Yep, you happen to be in a master number 11 personal year, not just a 2 personal year, but the way I did it was I took, can you see this? No. This is not the best way. And if I put it up close, you can't see it either way. What I did was I put 9 at the top, 19 underneath. Underneath that, I put the year 2026. I drew my line, added my columns down. So 9 plus 9 plus 6 equals 24. Then I carried the 2 over. 2 plus 1 plus 2 is 5. Then the 0, then the 2. So 2 plus 0 plus 5 plus 4 equals 11. See, the beauty of math is it takes away emotion. So let's say you got a person super sensitive and argumentative. 2 plus 2 is going to be 4 all day long. I don't care what they argue till the cows come home. It makes no difference. 2 plus 2 is going to be 4. So you happen to be in a special year this year, without question. This is a very exceptional year for you to do exceptional things with the opportunities that are presented to you. to take your life to another level, your consciousness to another level, your ideas to another level, to have the vision and the insight to go beyond what you normally see right in front of you. Also, you're going to be doing something with the change of diet, and Virgo is a dietary sign anyway, just as Michael Jackson and how he ate. Okay, so, and in fact, there was one diet known, I think, during the 80s called the Pritikin diet. It was real popular and hot. Well, the guy was a Virgo. All right, so you be in your element about that, but your key numbers are the 1, 4, and 9, and your best days are always on a Sunday first, a Wednesday followed by a Tuesday. Those are your 3 best days. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna read as many people as I can. I'm really enjoying this. Okay. Red. Okay, the first one. So Red, she is, wow, 3 people born on the 21st. That's interesting. In the tarot card, the 21 is called the World card. It's a beautiful picture of a universe and a woman kind of draped in some silky kind of attire and whatnot like that. But it means one who succeeds after a long test of initiation. So if that means symbolically go to your trials and tribulations. Here's one thing about the 21. Did you know it takes 21 days on average to break a habit? And it takes 21 days consistently to form a habit. So 21 is very important. And it adds to a 3, which represents a trilogy: the past, the present, the future, the Father, the Mother, the child, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. All these numbers are symbolic. I've learned so much from numerology. If somebody says, Lloyd, you'll be able to do this and that. It taught me English. It taught me history. It just taught me a whole lot that I could have never, ever imagined in my wildest dreams. And I was the worst math student in the world, too. Got a lot of D's. That was for dynamic, thank you. But basically, I was not the best math student in the world. But for some reason, this thing got a hold of me, and it led me to a journey that I could have never imagined for decades and decades. And it's proved its worth. And it has stood the test of time. And so what I'm saying is, if you don't do what I do, find something that you wish to do. Now, we'll say this about this person here. They would be a Cancer 3 person. That means they would be a water sign with a fire number, which would be somewhat kind of contradictory to a degree, which means they run hot and cold, depending on how they're feeling. That's the water side. That's the intuitive and feeling side. And then no matter how they're feeling on that day, where passion is running through, and they've got to do what they've got to do. So in this case, I would say that based upon this, that this year for you, especially in a one personal year, I took June the 21st, added it to this year, 2026, and it adds up to a one personal year. So you are in a cycle where you start fresh this year. Whatever mistakes you made in the past, let bygones be bygones. Don't worry about that. Focus on what you want to carve new for yourself. And it's very important, because whatever you start in a one personal year and a universal year for everybody, because her personal year is matching her universal year. Wherever we start in this year of the one, everybody, will last you directly or indirectly for the next 9 year cycle. So if you got somebody that's always calling and being a nuisance and whatnot, and you allow them to stay in your space all this year, guess what's going to be in and out over the next 9 years, the rest of the 9 year cycle then? So that's why I'm saying this is a cycle about being selfish. It's about determining what's in your best interest. I'm not being selfish that you ignore everybody, your loved ones and stuff, but I'll put it like this. The rule is you cannot help anybody unless you help yourself first. That's what this year is saying for each and every one of you. You got to learn how to stand on your own and do what is best for you. And once you've done that, then you're in a position to help loved ones, family members, friends, co-workers, whatever the case is. But it's impossible to do it unless you got your own house in order first. So in this case, and by the way, I noticed 3s are natural flirts too, Red. Now that you're a natural flirt, you look so nice, Sade. Okay. But it tells me you can flirt if you want to. I'll say that much. And 3s also have a gift for children. There's so many aspects to each of the numbers from 1 to 9, and the master numbers 11, 22, and 33. There is so much to this. But again, I've always been in an entertainment field where I'm kind of making entertaining. But when people read my book, my first book, my most recent book of Numbers and You is 400 pages. Okay. So it should give you a clue to the seriousness of how that in the depth of what I've learned to be able to articulate. And it's the first of 6 books I've written. So all I'm saying is develop a skill, whether it's with this what I'm doing or whatever the case is. Develop a skill. All right, so let's see what we got next. Let's see, did I do this? Okay. Oh, I gotta back up a second. Now I think yes. Jackie Phillips, blessings from Temple Hill. Blessings to you too. Okay. This person says they're very sorry to hear about Ms. Williams has transitioned. I was too. Because let me tell you, Stephen and Carol always at some point they'll either encourage me, thumbs up, they'll say something very, 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 very supportive. Okay. So when he sent me something through Cash App, because I think that's the only way he knew how to do that, Karen had transitioned on Thursday the 19th. I was like, wow, all of us got to go. All of us got to go. There's no question. None of us leave this planet alive. That is much reality I've learned. But it is still the fact that we transition. And especially when people are loved and everything respected and things of that nature, it's just sad to see that physical presence, but in spirit, I guess they're always present. The fact that we all got to go means there got to be something happening on the other side that we just not aware of. But anyway, my condolences to her, and I agree with you also to Mr. Williams. Okay, so let me see something here. Okay, let me get back to where I was. Okay, I'm gonna read a couple more, and I'll be finished. Okay, I read you January 6th. Okay, good evening to you too. This person here is 100 and lucky 8. All right, the lucky 8, I can understand that because Capricorn rules the number 8, and 8 would be one of your numbers. In fact, you are a Capricorn 2 person, which means you're an earth sign with a water number. When I see these two elements come together, they're nurturing. This is how flowers grow. This is how fruits and vegetables grow. This is how trees grow. You plant the seeds and then you cover it up with the soil. Okay, that's the earth. And then you water it. That's you. And as a result, you got to be patient, but you see all life grows. Okay. And so in this case, being a nurturing person. So that means you're very pragmatic and intuitive too. So that means there's a dual side happening in your personality, 100 and lucky 8, in the sense that the practical side, which is Capricorn, is very businesslike, but your birthday is intuitive too. So you have to learn how to measure both the best worlds. So for example, you might get a feeling about something and then your Capricorn energy kicks in and says, well, that got to make sense. That don't make no sense. Most things that are intuitive don't make sense in the moment. It's only after the fact that, you know what, I had this hunch and guess what? So-and-so and so-and-so. So if you can, and you've been on this earth long enough, born in 1992, to learn how to make a distinction, if you pay close attention to mind versus feelings, about if your feelings are real strong, you go with it. If it's not strong, you go with the logical Capricorn equation side of the chemistry. All righty. But it means you're a go-getter. You would do well. You're very fastidious about your eating habits, dietary laws, because Capricorns normally suffer with constipation or indigestion. And with you being a 2, that might be offset being finicky, fussy. I wouldn't be surprised if you're vegetarian, semi-vegetarian, or I wouldn't catch you coming out of McDonald's every day. That don't look like this birthday to me. But anyway, here's the point. Your key numbers are the 2, 7, and 8, and Mondays and Saturdays, along with Fridays, are your best days. Not Monday, Friday, Saturday, but Monday 1st, Saturday 2nd, and Friday 3rd are your 3 best days for interviews, signing contracts, appointments, going to the hospital for procedures, or whatever the case is, or arguing your case before the court about some ticket you got because somebody was trying to sweat a sister. Okay. Anyway, so that's it there. And Vivian is she's a water sign with an earth number. She's in reverse. I've been reading earth signs with water numbers, but now got a water sign with an earth number, which is the same thing. And let me tell you about this particular person too. This particular individual is a person that's always been the salt of the earth. They should have either been a teacher, nurse, counselor, social worker, humanitarian, They would have done well in real estate, banking, law, working for the government. They're always a work in progress, things of that nature. And this particular year for them, since I'm looking at they're in a 4 personal year. I took June the 24th, added to this year 2026, and it adds up to a total of a 4. Now, 4 is one of the kind of challenging numbers to you, and it doesn't mean bad in a way, but it means you're going to have to toe the line. You may have to do without some of the things. And number 6 is like nice things, by the way, whether you're the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th. 6 is like nice things. This is why they'll have things in their wardrobe they bought years ago. I mean, years ago, they still look good right now, which is why people think you may have a lot of money. But there's a strong principle of sense of right and wrong and justice for you, which is why you would have done well in law, anywhere where you worked at. Everybody knows how you roll. You treat everybody as one. You don't do cliques. The only clique you did is you write them with you. If you're not right, I'm not with you. That's your stuff is very simple, to be very honest with you. And so these would be some of the things that you would do. In fact, I would say from this year, the more you get your house in order, the better for you. And in fact, this month of February should have been an interesting, you can tell them in New York City, if you hear the horns. So it tells me if you've done something with your hair, with your health, something with your education, your schooling. And right now you're getting ready to go into a quiet month because March is one of your best months. It's going to allow you to take a break from the first 2 months that we kicked into 2026. Your key numbers are the 6, 2, and 7, which are all psychic numbers. So I would never let nobody say, girl, you're being silly. Girl, you don't know what you're talking about. You probably scared people with your intuitive or ability to read people like a book too. So your key numbers again are the 6, 2, and 7, and Fridays and Mondays are your best days, okay? I want to read a couple of more before I get off this phone. And somebody made a donation. I got Melanator 8. How you doing, girl? All right, you got a birthday coming up next in about, a week and a half or 2, because Sunday will be the 1st, okay? As of Saturday, February will be a wrap, as they say. It's all over, okay? But for you, that means you are a water sign. And 11 is considered kind of like a fire number because it's composed of 2 ones. But if I add the 2, so there's 2 ways of interpreting your energy. One, I could say you are a water sign with a water number because 1 + 1 is 2. Or I can say you're a water sign with a fire number, all depending on your attitude, experience, determination to succeed. Because this 2, there's the 2nd, then there's the 20th, which is a 2, then there's the 29th, which is another 2. 11 is composed of 2 ones, and these are fire numbers. That's why it's called a master number, because it means the person is ignited. They're fired up to do things, but in a way that leads them to a high level, which is the nature of a 2, which is nurturing. They like to be the natural humanitarians, the natural mothers and fathers of the universe, to guide people, to counsel people, and things of that nature, except by being composed of 2 ones or master number 11, they just take things to a whole nother level. It's just that simple. And so this year, you happen to be in a 6 personal year when I took March the 11th at the 2026. And 6 is one of 2026. And 6 is one of your numbers. It's very friendly to you. Although your key numbers are the 2, 7, and 3, if you took a 6, that would be equally okay. So that means since you be in a 6 personal year, Melanated 8, I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't done something with your hair, something about losing a weight, going back to school, rearranging your home, making some adjustments, whatever the case is. And you happen to be in a cycle of compensation too. Now, I don't know what your status is, but the 6th cycle is called the romance and finance cycle. All right. So that means there's a good possibility there might be some interesting developments taking place on the home front. Okay. As it relates to it. Also, some kind of compensation or recognition for a job well done, too. So, again, your key numbers are the 2, 7, and 3. And your best days are always on a Monday first, a Thursday, and as a backup, a Friday. So, it's Monday, Thursday, Friday. Monday, Thursday, Fridays for interviews, dates, signing contracts, launching projects, doing anything that's significant, anything that affects your livelihood, your welfare, your resources, your independence. These are your days. And we're all assigned days. That's why my day not work for you. And if you know that, that's why I have one of the things numerology has done for me is develop a high tolerance for people. which means you have to be as true to yourself as I have to be as true to me, because we're inside of ourselves all our lives. We think that everybody should think like us and everybody should do the things we do this because this is how I've done it and that's how you should do it too. But numerology demystifies all that. And it understands that every individual has a uniqueness to them that sets them apart from you. And this is why perhaps I've been blessed to get along with people. And then again, I get great parents that told me don't act like a knucklehead either. Okay. So that may help. But your key numbers again are the 2, the 7, and the 3. And your best days on Mondays and Thursdays and Fridays. Okay. I'm going to take a couple of more, but I'm going to take 3 more. And then I'm going to get off because Empress Well got something to do. Okay. Let me see. Come on. Why is this not clicking? Okay. There we go. Letitia Thomas Russells. She is a Sagittarius 6 person. She's born under a fire sign with an earth number. So here's what that means to me. Her fire energy, which is passionate, driven, proactive, is modified and kind of slowed down and kind of, okay, calm it down because that's the nature of her earth. Let's be practical. Let's not get too carried away with this thing up in here, okay? That's how they do that. And so in doing it, it makes it whereby that her passions is kind of led with some intentionality to it. It's not just impulsive. It's you know, it's the way, that's the nature of an earth. Earth signs just don't jump out the window because they see it in the movie. No, earth signs not going to do that. If it don't make no sense because sidewalk is down there, nothing but sidewalk, they're not jumping out no window. So that's what you do with that impulsive Sagittarius side of your nature, so to speak, okay? And it means you would make an excellent teacher, nurse, professor, scholar, counselor. You and probably actually from your birthday, I wouldn't have been surprised if you didn't do well in the arts coming up. Be talking about being an actress or singer or dancer or designer, something that deals with the more creative and artistic side of the human nature of things. But almost always 6s, because you're born on the 15th, 1 + 5 is 6, winds up being a service to humanity, service to the community. People advise you. I mean, people come to you for counsel and advice. What should I do about this and that? You've got a good way of sizing up people very well. And your birthday indicates from your birthday and your zodiac sign, you broke a lot of brothers' hearts too, because because your birthday indicates you was fine, as they would call it from there. When I look at the time you were born, which is 10/26, it tells me your son. I mean, your son is probably sitting in your 5th house. Okay, if I do that right, yeah, your 5th house. Okay, because it's on the other side. The AM side is the left side of the horoscope. The PM is the right side of the horoscope. So your son is probably sitting in the 5th house, and that is the house that deals with cancer. Okay, so there's a nurturing kind of way to you about that. And the place you're born on the 6th. But your key numbers are the 6, the 3, and the 9. The 6, 3, and 9, and your best days are always on a Friday first, Thursday, and Tuesday. Although the calendar will say Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, your calendar is just the reverse. Friday's first, Thursday second, Tuesday is third. All righty. And so I'm going to read Brother Westbrook, and the reason why also because he made a donation, and I thank you very, very much. Westbrook World, I don't know why it says Mr. It's Westbrook is for the company. Whoever you are, male or female, is this. It indicates you are a fire sign with a water number. Now, that almost sounds contradictory, and to a degree it does, because water is used to extinguish fire. However, look at it this way. If you take a shower, most people don't like cold showers. Maybe people like hot showers. And the way you take a hot shower, there has to be a blend of that water, which is your birth number, and the fire, which is from the furnace, which is a fire, which is your zodiac sign. But either way, it's this. It tells me very passionate, very loving, caring, sharing, artistic, creative, or romantic. You like to keep things or collect things and find it hard to throw things away. It also tells me you're finicky and fuss about your eating habits or dietary laws. If you're a female, it means sensitivities with the reproductive organs. If you're a male, it means sensitivities with your prostate, things of that nature. But nonetheless, it tells me that this year you have an opportunity to make a very fresh start. And because this year, astrologically speaking, which is the year of the one, astrologically favors Leo's first, Aquarian seconds, and Aries third. So the fact that your sun, your personal year is matching one of your things, because let me explain. You're the first one that I've read tonight that has 4 numbers. Your numbers are the 2, 7, 1, and 4. So since you're in a one personal year, which matches your number, this is a very good time for you to extend it. And what's so interesting, you donated $199, which is 19. 1 plus 9 is 10, and 1 plus 0 is 1. And so you are in a one personal year. So that means that get away from the shyness, which is normally a 2. Get away from being reserved and laid back and modest, which is a number 2. This time you got to step forward with the confidence and courage that belies a true Leo in every sense of the word. And this will set the stage of what you want for the next 9 years. But your key numbers, again, are the 2, 7, 4, and 1 and 4. And your best days are always on a Monday and a Sunday first, okay? And I will take one more. Good evening to you. Yeah, good evening to you. And this will be the last one because I got to respect Empress time. This is February 24th. So happy belated birthday just several days ago. And it's at 10:43 p.m. So your sun is sitting in the 4th house. That's where you sit. Your sun is sitting right in the 4th house, the house of Cancer. Okay. And so therefore, you would be a Sagittarius, a Pisces 6 person. So you're a water sign with an earth number, which is great in combination. And so what it tells me this particular year, you happen to be in what is called a 9 personal year, which means you're at the end of your 9-year journey. So this is a year to phase out anything that is not to your benefit anymore. Anything you've outgrown, anything you've outlasted, anything that's toxic, anything that's non-productive, anything that has not served any purpose, that have outworn its usefulness. It is time to let it go, because on the other side of this 9 year, it means now's the time to fulfill your dreams, because it means dreams come true. So let's say there are things you put on the back burner for whatever reason. Now you bring it front and center. You begin to focus on the things that last for you. But right now, you're in a 9 personal year. And so it means just cleaning house and things of that nature. And in fact, I'm looking at March right now, since we passed your birthday. Next month coming up is going to be great, because it says this month has been, okay, this month suggests that you have been kind of like having to determine that things have been iffy and what you need to kind of let go and cut loose. But things are about to open up for you in a way that's going to be very nice, very busy for you. That I can tell you. But this is your year. And by the way, 6 is a psychic number. Pisces is a psychic sign. So you're good at reading people. You're good at reading how things are. Let's say you're going to church and you got a visiting member. You say, well, you might tell your girlfriend, girl, I ain't giving them much money this Sunday because I don't feel this person. And yet if somebody says, well, how do you know? There are things you can't explain. My first course, my Learn from LLoyd series, How to Read a Person Like a Book, comes from the number 6. That is their gift. They know for some reason how to read a situation and read people like a book. I would never play you. They could, but I would say they would have a problem. So what's in store for you this year? This is a year to you fulfill your dreams, and it's a year to cut your losses. And it's also a year to embark on long distance travel. That's exactly what it's about. And by the way, you'll find that Aries will help you, Scorpios will help you, as well as Leos or anybody born on the 9th, 18th, or 27th of the month will be of help to you this year. So this is a year. And by the way, see, your key numbers anywhere, the 6, 3, and 9. So since you're in a personal year that matches one of your key numbers, and your best days are always on a Friday, followed by Thursday, followed by Tuesday, in that order. Not a Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, but Friday first, Thursday second, Tuesday's third, okay? And I'll just take one more, I guess. Okay. I read you, sure more, okay. You're welcome, Red. Okay, thank you. And we are saying an acknowledgement to the transition of Carol Williams of Chicago. Her husband, Stephen, between Stephen and Carol, they will always send something, always support, put your thumbs up, send something, words of encouragement. And again, I was devastated, but that's why I wanted, for those of you who appeared at the top of the show, this segment is, and this is why it's this long, this segment has been dedicated to Carol Williams, who transitioned last Thursday on the 19th. And that's it. So everybody, I do want to thank you, I guess. Hold on, let me see something. Okay. Yep, rest in power, Carissa Roberts. Thank you. Hey, lady, how you doing? Good to see you, Anna. I mean, y'all are family to me. Okay, I know it might sound corny because they don't want family. They want you all isolated, all by yourself. So when the things go down or when it hit the fan, you have no one to turn to. Well, when you come into this environment, this is the Live with Lloyd family, and I consider all of you family. So it's very, very important. So I thank all of you very, very much. Okay. Let's see. Congratulations. Okay, thank you. Yep, my deepest condolences to it, right? And thank you very, very much for acknowledging this. This is Numeralytics. This is from Melinda Valentine. She's the one that sponsors the program. She is one of the baddest astronumerologists around, trust me. Okay, she don't be playing, right? That's for sure. She's no joke. And I'm going to give you her information in a moment, too. Okay, I need guidance, Carissa. Well, here's what you do. If you want a reading, go to LLoyd-Strayhorn.com and click on consultation and schedule a date and a time at your convenience. It's Lloyd-Strayhorn. That's LLoyd-Strayhorn, Strayhorn.com. Click on. And by the way, I have an astronumerology calendar on the calculator. And when you put in your name and your birthday, it tells me whether your name more fits in the quality of air, earth, water, or fire. Okay, so I'll do that. All righty. And so, okay, and you says guidance and direction, what go into what skill to home. Well, there are several things you can do. There are books that suggest careers and things of that nature. Maybe you might have a gift for what I do. I don't know. Everybody doesn't, may not be interested in what I do. My whole thing is I know I cannot do this forever. And I have persons like Linda Valentine and Jackie Levine, and I got Brandon, and I got Nick, and I got Kimberly. I've got a lot of people, but I'm talking about really developing where you become a certified astronumerology practitioner level 1, where it's about developing a system in addition to knowing the numbers, the art of how to interpret it as against how to calculate it. It's a whole different ball game that I'm offering. And I will give you an opportunity to do that. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more, then I'm out. This is Jamie K. They are Virgo 9, so the earth and fire. It means very passionate, very determined. 9 normally represents leadership numbers. 18 is called the power of mediumship, to go in and out of the visible and invisible world, like Edgar Casey, who was born on the 18th of March. So that tells me you are a powerhouse of a person. You are fire and earth mixed all together. So you're earth sign first with a fire number. So that means, yes, you're passionate, but in ways that are practical, in ways that are commonsensical. So when you make a move, your moves are more calculated, shall we say. Okay, because the sign of Virgo is I analyze. Every zodiac around the wheel has their own little saying. Capricorn is I know. No, I use. Aquarius is I know. What do you call Virgo? I mean, Leo is I am. You name it. So anyway, that's what I'm looking at. And this year you happen to be in a 1 personal year, which means now you're in a position to make a very fresh, brand new start for yourself. Last year, 2025 should have been very important because it was the year of the 9. Mom Donnie, the mayor of New York City, was born on the 18th, so it didn't surprise me. Letitia James was fighting these allegations about solicitation of court. I mean, her funds of the house, whatever that was in all the political world, whatever that was about. She was born on the 18th of 9. She got that resolved. So that did not surprise me. So last year should have been important, but this year is even more important because now you're in a year to be a self-starter, to do something new, despite the age. Again, this is the only culture that we in where the older you get, the more you're kind of less respected. But in other cultures you go, the older you are, the more revered you are. You know what I'm saying? In Africa, they sit down at the knee of the person to learn and pick up the wisdom and the knowledge experience. Here, that's why they had to pass a law about discrimination against the elders and stuff like that. So what I'm saying to you is you have, despite the year you're born in, have an ability to make a very fresh, brand new start with yourself. It all depends on how you look at it. Half your glass of life, half empty, half full. I suggest, since you're number 9, to look at it half full. And by the way, your birthday suggests if you married or got involved with somebody, it was probably somebody in the military, like law enforcement, or handled tools, machines, or instruments and things of that nature too. Okay, and I will read one more, and this is Jackie Phillips, who's a water sign with a water number. Okay, and that simply means that feelings are all over the place. So you know how they talk about they're into their feelings? Well, this is how Jackie Fillmore can be also too. All right. And what it simply means is she's very, very detailed, very, very analytical. It's interesting. I noticed with 7 women versus 7 men, because 7s are discreet and discriminating and low key. A lot of people who are women on the women's side often misinterpret those 7 women as being more snooty or stuck up, or who does she think she is? And really, it's not about that at all. It's just about having the presence of mind that they like to kind of be more laid back than anything else. They would rather ask you more questions than you ask questions of them. That is their nature, because 7 is they like to analyze, they like to question, they like to dissect, they like to know the reason why you do the things you do. That is their energy. All righty. So your key numbers are the 7, 2, and 3. And your best days are always on a Monday and a Thursday more than anything. Okay. All righty. And finally into my personal year of 8. That's right. You are in an 8, Cassandra. You got that right. So this is your year to power up. All righty. And what it's saying is, actually, see, most people think your personal year starts in the month you were born. No. I've learned, and my experience of doing this for decades have shown me that your personal year started in January. Okay. Actually, it started in October. And I'll explain that in another time too, because October is a preview month. But yes, you're in an 8 personal year to make some major, major moves, some major, major inroads in terms of you taking your life to the next level. As last year, 2025, was more reflective and soul searching and really seeing what you can do. All righty. So, okay. So I want to say this too. You know, back on the 31st, Empress Rel, my moderator, had her birthday. And I hope I said happy birthday. I hope I did. Because sometimes I be forgetting my manners, but I try not to do that, okay? Alrighty. So I would say to everybody, I do want to thank you. And the piano should not be so close to the fireplace, big brother. You might be right about that, but listen, I you know, this is their profile up in here. I'm doing the best I can. Okay. And thank you for catching me live. She says, it's been a while. Miss you too, Erica. God bless you. And she happens to be a water sign with a water number, sensitive, doubly intuitive, need a hug twice a day. And it's not physical, more mental, in terms of like, wow, that was nice what you did for me. Okay, and your numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. Okay. This person here, I'll tell you this. You are in an 8 personal year. This is your money year, my friend. All my personal sacred keys. This is a year to you to do anything. You should aim high. I used to say in an 8 cycle, you aim for the sun, even if you only hit the moon, but think big. Period. End of story. Your key numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. Oh, I'm so glad, because somebody made a donation and I would have blown it. Okay. And this is James Jeffrey, JJJ. I know they probably call you JJ. I know how people are. People are lazy. But James Jeffrey Johnson. He's a fire sign with a fire number. Same day, he's got the same combination as this actor, Michael Duncan, that I always admired as an actor. Okay. And so with him being a fire sign with a fire number, that means he's never taken stuff from nobody. He told it. My mother used to like this song called Tell It Like It Is. That's James Jeffrey Johnson. Okay. He tell it the way he sees it. Now, people will think he's cold or callous or don't give a kitty or don't care. It's not that he don't, but he tells it the way he sees it. If you're a knucklehead, I'd use stronger language, but kids watch too. If you're a knucklehead, you're a knucklehead. Okay? It's just that simple. You don't mince words. More than likely, at some point, James, you have had some authority, whether you are either out on your own, an entrepreneur, you would have done well in the law, the area of medicine, law, science, working for the government, an administrator, CEO, CFO, president, vice president, manager, supervisor, director. If you notice, everything has a sense of authority to it. Pushing, taking orders from people, never set well from you. So as a young boy, told me you probably was fired from some jobs too, because you wasn't going, you didn't like the way they talked to you, okay? And you wasn't having it, especially being now Sagittarius too, and the number one, a fire. So it tells me that probably your best energy was to go out on your own, to create something for yourself you could call your own, or to have some supervision over others. And this particular year for you is a year where it's a turning point year for you. This is a year of change for you. This is a year where a lot of opportunities are going to come your way, and you should take full advantage of it, my friend. Okay? By the way, your key numbers are the 1, 4, and 3, and Sunday, Thursday, and Tuesdays are your 3 best days in that order. Sunday first, Thursday second, Tuesday in third position, like win, place, and show in a horse race. Okay. Okay. Greatest evening to you too, Teresa. All right, everybody. I gotta go, I think. Let me see if because I don't want to miss anybody who make a donation. Thank. First of all, I want to thank everybody very, very much. And I really do. For all the kind words and whatnot. And see, I'm so glad I checked, because this person made a donation. I can't let this slide. This person had a birthday last Sunday on the 15th, okay? And you are an Aquarius 6 person. So 6 people normally by their nature are very loving, caring. The men are normally good looking, 6 men. The women are very, very attractive, okay, as a rule, okay? And even if not in physical looks, personality, ambiance, the energy that they give across to other people. 6 people can be very stubborn too. That's to the negative. So I'm putting a little negative on the side. 6 people got a way of judging people. It also tells me, since you're born on the 16th, Michael, that more than likely you were probably very athletic in school, high school, junior high school, basketball, baseball, football. You know, so if it had a ball on the end of it, tennis ball, racquetball, soccer ball, you probably tried to do it. Or it tells me you were probably definitely in front of a TV for Super Bowl this past Sunday before last, whenever it was. And so it wouldn't have surprised me, because 6 men have this athleticism about them. They like to be involved in sports and things of that nature. You'd also do well in real estate, banking, working for the government. You'd also do well as a nurse, a teacher, a counselor, a social worker. You'd also do well in the world of music. You should develop your voice too. 6 rules of vocal cords, okay? Bob Marley was an Aquarius 6, and everybody knew his voice, okay? Martin Luther King was born on the 15th. Everybody knew his voice when he spoke. You ain't have to say, well, let me see who's talking, okay? You knew who was talking. So it tells me that you should develop your voice, because in it lies the opportunity for you. And you were born, your sun is found in the first house in the sign of Aries in the first house, since you're born at 4:57 p.m. But thank you so much for the donation. By the way, your numbers are the 6, 2, and 7. Your best days are always on a Friday first, followed by a Friday first, followed by Monday. Friday and Monday. So it's not Monday, Friday. It's Friday first, then Monday. Those are always your best days, my friend. All righty. So again, I do want to thank everybody very, very much. I want to make sure that I didn't miss anybody, because sometimes I get so many people, I'll only see these after, and I don't have no way. But okay, I got one more person, and then I got to stop. Now, this is one of the most popular birthdays we born on. Everybody sees stars, they see by 11/11, okay? So this person is born at 6:52 p.m., which means their sun is sitting in the 6th house, the house of health. Got that out the way. So this person is Michael, sir, you're very welcome, and I thank you too. Okay, so in this case, Anubis, I hope I'm saying your first name properly, Anubis. Um, First of all, you're born on the 11th month, and the 11th day. Back on November the 11th, Armistice Day, I did something about how 11 appeared. It was 11 this, it was signed at 11 o'clock on the 11th day of the 11th month and the 11th hour and all this other stuff. But be that as it may, this is a point for you. You are a water sign mixed with fire numbers. All ones and nines are fire numbers. So if you look at the 2, 4, 6, 8 numbers in your birthday, 5, 6 of them out of 8 of those numbers and digits in your birthday are all fire. So that means you're here to bring passion, determination, and conviction. And notice you got 5 ones. So it tells me don't take no stuff, man. It tells me you need to be in your own business. Okay. And it tells me sometimes you can appear to be selfish because ones like to look out for number 1. I mean, let's keep it real. You got 5 of them. Okay. So if you like to look out for yourself a little bit more than most people do, it ain't your fault. You're being as true to yourself as I have to be as true to myself. That is the point. But nonetheless, you happen to be in a 5 personal year. So that means this is a year to change attitude, change direction of how you've been doing things. So if you've been focused upon just the more selfish side of your nature, it just suggests, and they gave a donation. So thanks very much for the donation to 1111. So anyway, it does suggest that this is a time for you to take advantage of travel, opportunities. In fact, since your key numbers are the 2, 7, and 6, your best months are always in March, which is coming up next month. And it tells me you're going to be in a money cycle too. And in fact, look for the second week of March from the 8th through the 14th to be very, very significant for you. Y'all should learn this, man. I'm telling you, y'all should develop this skill. Of course, I'm partial to this because this is what I do. But I've lived this for decades. I know it has helped me over the rough spots. Okay. And I'm just saying that whatever you do, find a skill that will carry you over the rough bumps in the roads. Everything, only in the movies, they live ever after, only in the movies. But in real life, they're going to be ups and downs, peaks and valleys. That's how it goes. The sun don't come out every day. Keeping it real. All right. So what I'm saying to you is that this year brings change, it brings travel, it brings possibilities to do a lot of things and to diversify yourself and add variety to what you're doing. But it should be in the ways that offers you all opportunities. And I got to be honest, with all these 5 numbers, all these ones, you need to be in the business for yourself. You don't take orders. I'd say that taking orders is not your shot. But your numbers are 2, 7, and 6, and Mondays and Fridays are your best days without question, okay? All right. So I think that's it. I really got to get off right now. Thank you. Thank you very much. Everybody, I want you to all have a nice day. Before I do, let me bring you my sponsors again, because without them, I want you to all support Nicholas Brooklyn, okay? Please go to GoFundMe. They're trying to raise $83,000, and they got a way to go. Every bit counts. Every penny counts. Nicholas Brooklyn is located at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn. I had her on a week ago, yesterday. If you want to go and look at last Wednesday's show, that was on February the 18th, where she took us around the store and all the stuff. It's absolutely a fascinating tour, and everybody should see it for themselves. So please go. And this Sunday, because of the blizzard, they moved the Health Expo, Soul Expo back to this Sunday instead. It's absolutely free. Okay, all you got to do is just get your butt up in there, and the first 100 people get in and gift bag. I ain't talking about no little crayons and pencils and stuff like that. No, I mean you get like some crystals and other things. I mean, it's always full of surprises. I'm telling you, and it's all free. The first person to go there should get it. Okay, and let me see something here. So that's what so please do that, all right? And then also please pick up a copy of one of my good friends, Uchenna Hackett in Trinidad, Tobago, that wrote Soul First. And then, you know, how to master 24 hours and master life. It's available on Amazon. And then one of my favorite ladies on the planet, Leo, Linda Valentine, an astronumerologist of superb order. Please support her. And she's written journals that reflect 4 seasons. Last week it was the air. Now we're in the water season of Pisces. So pick up this book if you happen to be especially a Cancer or Scorpio or a Pisces, which is your time. All righty. Also, Recept. Please, you get 35% off. All you got to do is just call. That's the Q code. It's Lloyd 35XV. Okay. And also, Miss Kimberly's Manifest on Purpose. She has a show. She has a podcast on, and she's also has published a book on Amazon, The Business of Numerology. And in fact, if you order, you put in a review and take a screenshot and email her, she will give you a complimentary assessment of your business. And just go to Kimberly, Kimbaley, Kimbaley. And before I sign off, I do want to let you know, thank you, that you can get the newsletter. Well, February is a wrap, but it's available. It's free. All you got to do is just go to Lloyd-Strayhorn.com to click on not only for consultations with me, but also to get the newsletter absolutely free. We do not sell your mailing list. Or if you want to, you can hear the February forecast because we're going to be working on March soon. And so that should be out when I'm back on next week. And so you got to go to Kimbaley, Kimbaley, Kimbaley to see the forecast. And for those of you, I really, really am truly interested about finding qualified. It's an invite. Everybody can't join, unfortunately. It's not about that because I'm not trying to attract students. I'm only interested in attracting future practitioners where we would be developing a system. It is a practical, certified astronumerology practitioner level 1, and it's designed only for those who want to move beyond the personal interest in into an ethical, professional, and numerology practice. Okay, so please take a screenshot, click on it, fill out the questionnaire, and you will get a questionnaire from you. And if you qualify, because everybody's not going to qualify, it depends on how you answer, things like that. And we only want the best. I want things to reflect me. And I say this without bragging. I want the best at what I do with this. After doing this for well over close to 50 years of doing this, reading books, every TV show, I know this is not no game for me. I developed a skill. So whether you become a practitioner with me in this, whatever you decide, develop a skill. I cannot emphasize the importance. And I'm going to talk about it next week too, when I'm back on. Develop a skill. So when things get tight rough around the edges financially, and you don't have the 401ks and the stock options and the properties and the precious metals and all these other things they have, develop a skill right here in your mind. Okay. So everybody, I want to thank you. I'm going to get off my horse, as they say, for now, but I enjoy running my mouth with this. And for those of you who spent the time with me, thank you very much for the family. And to Stephen Williams, God bless you, man. And my condolences to the passing of Cal. I'm sure she's brought you a lot of pleasure too. Okay. Have a nice day, everybody. Take care.